Hello everybody, I just left the dollar store and it is kind of warm here in St. Louis. Like I'm sweating in my puffy coat. I really didn't need this thick of a coat today. But I'm here to say that I have a very exciting project to show you guys tonight from the dollar store, my favorite place. And I have to go back to work right now. But I will see you guys a little bit later and we'll get our crafting on. Welcome back, everyone, including Kitty Cat. Hello. So Thanksgiving is coming up. Yes, it is. And I was really inspired to think about centerpieces for the table. And so of course I did a couple of brief searches online, some floral arrangements and themes. And I stopped at the Dollar Tree today and picked up all of these buttes. So what I'm thinking is a centerpiece, custom floral. Ava, you gotta scoot. Anyway, I picked up all these buttes and the thought is to have like a layered, beautiful centerpiece. So as you can see right here, I've got just a plastic gold charger and then a floral foam tube. What was it called in college? Something, I'll look that up and get back to you. Like a torus, I think that's what it is. A donut shape. And then a nice, just modern cylindrical hurricane vase in the middle that we're gonna put a candle in. And then 3 bunches of these burgundy berries, 3 bunches of this calm beige white, and then some focal point flowers. These are really important. You do want to have a flower that really draws the eye, creates some hierarchy between the berries and these that have that dark center. And then as far as supplies, I got Spanish moss in case we need to cover the floral tube. Tools, I've got my little mini wire cutter. And then I finally found my hot glue gun tonight. We'll get her plugged in. Our first step is going to be probably going through these and trimming them short and then pressing them in. And I may I'll think about the design, but we'll get after it. Some of these berries from the Dollar Tree do need reinforcement, so we are just going to do the same thing that we did with the leaves. Put a little dab of glue, stick the stem back on, and then we'll have a nice secure hold. So we have trimmed off the berries and the leaves to just a couple of inches. We've also glued everything, every bud to stem to reinforce it. So that includes the berries and the leaves. So that will be really nice and secure when we put it on sort of sunflowers and glued those to make sure they're secure. And we'll figure out a solution to get those to lay flat. I'm thinking just a little bit of water should do the trick on this cloth. So as you can see, these move really loosely. So I'm just going to go ahead, put a little glue on the stem right here, and then scoot the leaves up. I'm going to leave a little bit of room at the stem, at the end of the stem, because this sunflower sort of shape has a long little thing right there. So we'll just see if we can hold that down and put on some glue, then go ahead and stick that on. And then we've got a nice little bloom that's sort of ready to go. So just found these leaves sitting off by themselves. I'm going to cut a small stem for those, dab a little glue. And now I've got another option for foliage if I need to add more, like fill in an area, etc. And now we'll get started on the Spanish moss. It's been a while since I've worked with Spanish moss, to be honest. But I think we're going to just try to grab a little bit and start wrapping it onto our floral form. For this part, I'm going to use a mixture of hot glue and Elmer's because hot glue will tack it on, but Elmer's will keep it on in the long run. Now we have our little donut all covered, and of course I can touch up any areas that are still showing after I put in my flowers. So we can get started arranging. What I think I'm going to do is do a pattern in which the berries are sort of swinging around like that. You've probably seen wreaths that way, that they're sort of radiating around the center. So I will go ahead and start that, and I'm going to do that just because of the length of the stems, and I want to make sure they're really secure, and also just this length right here, they're not small blooms. So do it in a way that's comfortable for your hand, whether you're right-handed or left. And what we're gonna do obviously is dab on some hot glue and then just poke it through the moss and into the foam. It'll have a nice good hold. So it's got that slight angle. So we'll keep doing that. We're not going to perfectly alternate. We may do a cluster of 2, then a cluster of 3, and then have one red in the midst of the cream to make it look organic. I think with this color scheme, organic would be really good. So what we're gonna do is sort of start with the lower layer. Red one is a little bit higher, but we can fix that and kind of tweak it a little bit. So I'm gonna start with just, you know, the lower layer, and then we will go ahead and add a couple of accents on this top layer. So kind of go around like the bottom of the pie, and then we'll put the pie filling in later. And another tip is you don't really need this 2.5 inches. You know, you can probably trim it down to about 2 inches and make it a little easier on yourself to stick it in the foam. Layer 1 complete. So as you can see, I'm sort of trying to do a swirl. So next we're just going to go ahead and add an upper layer. Just take inventory of everything that you have left and try to distribute it through. So with this foliage, I'm going to just make sure that I spread it all out. And then same with the berries, and then we want to make sure we have a prominent spot for our sunflower-esque flowers. Here it is, almost done. We're just going to add more foliage and then find a spot for our main sunflowers. This is really looking beautiful and full, and so what I think I'm going to do with our focal flowers is do one right here, and then in a triangle shape do another one over there, and then that way we sort of have a triad. We'll see how it turns out. And here we go. What do you think? It really started looking beautiful when I added those focal point flowers. And you know, I think this could be a great wreath for your door too. So here's the general setup, and I just think it looks beautiful. All dollar store materials here. And it is actually a little larger than the charger, larger than I thought it would be. I think it just needs a finishing touch. I'm going to try to put that burlap on the candle holder. Next, you know what? I really would like to get some lace, and then this craft will be done and beautiful. I think there was a spider in my Spanish moss. Hello, spider. I picked up this beautiful lace from Michael's, and I didn't realize they actually sell all kinds of burlap ribbon with lace already attached. But it was too late because I had already put burlap on my candle. But as you can see, it's going to be thicker than the burlap currently. And I really would like the burlap to stick out at the top and bottom. So I'm going to add another layer of burlap to this and then glue that on. So I'm tacking on the burlap with just a dab of glue and matching up the seams. And then we will cover that seam in the middle with our lace. I think this combo is so beautiful because it's such a beautiful contrast between the rough burlap and the delicate lace. It's just gorgeous every time. So I'll go ahead, cut a little extra lace, and then glue that with hot glue as well. And remind me to buy some fabric scissors, because these nasty old kitchen scissors are a mess. Okay, and as you can see, there's a bit of more of a scallop at the top. And there's not really a right side out or wrong side out, but I'm going to put that nice scallop side on the top as opposed to like this, just because it'll feel a little more grounded. And I'm gonna match up the seams just like I did the burlap. Here is the final product. I think that lace just really finishes off the whole project and makes it beautiful. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.